tumbleweeds blow. Saturday night, it's time to gather, let's go. Join the chat, we'll set our sights right. Urban homesteading under the starlit night. Grab your friends, come share the plans. Hey, now it's time to share and grow. With Matt by the fire, we're ready, let's go. From the garden dirt to the desert sky, join the urban homestead chat, you can't pass by.
Well, hello. Hopefully everyone can see and hear me. All right, we got a few people in here. Good to see y'all. Let's see real quick. Would you shut the door? Thanks. The Solo's joining me. So, hi, I'm Matt with Grafter Branch Homestead here on our Southwest Desert Urban Homestead. And for anyone that doesn't know, but let's see. Hey, CDB, and we got Verna in here. Al Henry. It's all right, Casey. Don't worry about it. But, awesome. Welcome, guys. Katrina's in here. Ed's in here. Hey, Ed. You won't fall asleep, you say? Aaron's in here. Cool. So we got a good bunch. And hopefully you guys can see and hear me all right. Today's live stream should be right around an hour or a little bit less. We got a couple things tonight. Excuse me. A couple updates and things we've got going on around here, and kind of everything ties into our main conversation of automation on the homestead and a little bit of solar. And so we'll tap into that a little bit. Hey, Willie, good to see you. And do a little bit of that. So how is everyone doing? I know most people I've seen throughout the day in different chats. I hope you guys are staying warm and doing all right. Okay. Today, we are going to start off right away. We're going to hop into chat with our special guest who we like to have on, and he's going to show us something that we've got going on, some of his little guys. So I'm going to put that camera on over there. You want to say hi first? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So this is my son, Casey. Anyone that doesn't know, Farmer Casey. And we got some eggs in the mail from Short Pickens Quail. Yeah, and we ordered some, and they sent a surprise for you. Yeah. And so we hatched them out, we incubated them, and what were they?
Button quail.
Button quail. So we're going to show the button quail real quick. We'll do a little comparison between them and some regular Corturnix quail babies of the same age that we have, and we'll show those side by side. And then I want to talk for a few minutes before we hop into the main meat tonight about my incubation, about how that's been going. I know with Verna's stream or Aaron's stream, if you guys caught those earlier, we were talking about some incubation, especially in Aaron's, and some of those things I've been battling as well. So that was kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to hop over there. Don't move that, please. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to be the camera person. What do we got here?
So here is what Dad likes to call his incubation tree.
We got the incubation station. So we got a lot of eggs in. We're going to end up with 4 or 5 incubators. Hey, New Horizon. Good to see you.
So here are...
All right. Go ahead and show us.
So here are little guys.
What is here?
Super cute. These aren't jumbos, right?
These are just some regular Corturnix quail. And we have 8 of them in this brooder box. You want to hold one?
Yeah.
All right. You can hold one so we can see the size comparison.
Yes.
You just slide that right there and then come over here. Can you get one?
Yeah, I'm going to grab the one that I named Nacho. This one.
You're going to grab Nacho?
Yes.
All right, here. So here is Nacho. And so this is a baby Corturnix quail.
They're a lot more durable than those guys.
Yeah, they're still tiny. All right. And then let's show your buttons here.
They're a lot less, what's the word?
I don't know.
Because they're more calm with me holding them. These guys, so since they're so tiny, and then since they're at the bottom of the food chain, Hey,
Mason.
They get really scared easily, and they're super duper fast. They're really fast. They can jump like a couple feet.
Now, the Corturnix quail are food. They're eggs. They also provide money, right? When you sell the eggs and all that.
These ones.
What are these guys' purpose?
provide joy.
They provide joy. So these guys are going to go in a fish tank in your room, right? A real
You're
big.
gonna go in a fish tank?
Well, the real big one. The 50-gallon or whatever. Ooh, careful. So you hold him. I'm going to get the camera stand and we're going to hold them side by side. Thanks for showing up, Mason. It was good to see you in Aaron's stream there.
This one is Nugget.
Meet you. This is Nugget? Okay. So let me set this up real quick and we'll do a little side by side.
This one?
Now we've been running 3 incubators right now.
This one?
We have 3 button quail. So we started with 7 eggs and we have 3. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute here. All right. Now we don't want them to jump, so we want to be quick. Can you get side by side maybe?
Yeah, let me grab this one.
All right.
I'm gonna break. No, I'm sorry. Come on, I like you.
Okay, so here's the regular Craternix. And there's the button here. Let's hold them up a little.
Oh,
bit. I don't know if you can see. Oh, did you get them? I'm going to be very careful. These guys are fast.
Oh, I feel so bad for Chip right now.
Is he okay?
He seems okay. He poo-pooed on me, but...
Did he? All right, use that paper towel right there.
Oh, wow, I feel so bad.
So we're going to talk, before I get into the main meat of it, I guess this is part of the meat of it, about my incubation and what's been going on, the issues I've been having, and what we got. So we got 3 button quail, and Spice is telling us there, Fuzz, Chip, and Nugget. Let me scoot this back a bit.
Even though the black one is named Fuzz, sometimes I like to call him Nicky Jr.
Okay. And so we got 3 of the button quail, and we have 8 of these other Craternix. We had set, I believe, 24. Let me go and take the camera around here. Thank you, Casey, for showing us those. There's a Casey's button quail again, and we're actually going to say goodbye to Casey, and then I'll talk more. But all right, Casey. I heard you say that you guys had them in an aquarium. That's our plan. So, all right, let me set this down real quick.
Okay, ready? 2.
All right, come over here and hop on this other camera with me real quick.
In between.
Farmer, it's about almost his bedtime. So he was joining us special. Thank you there, Spicy Mom. Come on over here real quick. Yeah, so Casey got 3 button quail. We got 7, and we hatched out. We got 3, which we were really happy. Nikki wasn't even sure if any were going to hatch out. It was her first run. So I don't know how much of it has to do with that or incubation problems.
We don't know who's male or female.
Right. And we don't know which ones are male or female.
Yeah.
So we do. I have incubation problems. I've been seeing it happen for a little while, but haven't been incubating enough consistently. And now we're moving into that more. So it's becoming more prevalent now that I'm doing that. And so I want to talk about that a little bit, some of the things I'm doing, and then maybe hop back and chat and pick some people's brains a little bit about that. So thank you very much, Casey, for joining. Mm-hmm. If we go live tomorrow, you'll be there. I'm not sure if we are or not. If so, it'll be kind of spontaneous, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, high five. Thank you very much, bud.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So we only got 8 of the Craternix. Yeah. And so I actually think it's our problem. And I'm going to go back over and show the incubation station a little bit and talk about that. And then we may end up getting more than 8, but let me do this. Okay. So the incubators I'm using over here for these 2, and I've been using, are these Cubonics ones. I'd like to get a nice big expensive one, but that's out of the question right now. So it's going to be Homemade and these type ones. And so these are the 2 we had going. We had the button quail in here and the other Craternix in here. So we may still get a few more hatch out. I'm not sure. I don't like these incubators. They're okay, but I've decided they're not my favorite, which stinks because I got 3 of them. I got them for $40 each, so those good deals. But I I don't really like these dome ones quite as much as this other one that I had built. This one I like a lot better. Now these I've done my normal wet incubation like I've done with all of them. We do live here in the desert and our humidity is really, really low. I'm doing this at winter. It fluctuates. And then on top of that, we have an urban homestead. I work full-time job. There's times where the whole family's gone for 12 hours throughout the day. So if there's any issues, there's not really time for us to address them right away. And so we have humidity spikes that we have been going from 80%, and then it will drop all the way down. And if it gets missed, it'll sit, a couple hours at like 30% or 20 something percent. So really, really hard time with the with our humidity and keeping that right. And it just fluctuates all over. And then once we put the sponges in to bring it up, which is really all I do, it hops up to 75, and when they start hatching, that goes way up. So I'm having issues there. What I've done here is we have some other eggs going, and I'll wait till the light clicks on. Let me back up. Put this on its stand. So I have this other incubator I built. I think it works a lot better. And on this one, I've decided to do a dry hatch. And Mason, I know you were talking about this, and then Aaron in our thing. So I think that's awesome. Let me set this up. And I'll go back over there. I'm hoping that will help. And so what I've done with this one is I haven't added any extra humidity. Now, it's been sitting at about 17% humidity. I don't know if that's too low. Kind of an experimental run. The light hasn't clicked on yet. But that's what I'm doing on this one. And then at lockdown, which actually is at the end of tonight's live stream, we will be upping that humidity to about 70% so that eggs can hatch. All right, cool. I clicked on. So speaking of automation, the little thing just clicked on. So this is my eggs in here. These ones came from Ghidros, so there's some Celadon back there. There's actually 3 different types, so we may end up with 5 brooders here. You could see the different thermometers and things hanging down. This one I get much better hatch rate with. See, 18% humidity, and it's been sitting at 100 degrees. This one stays very regulated on its temperature, a whole lot better. It has fans in the back that blow around, and then all those water bottles in there help to regulate that. So tonight at the end of the live stream, for anyone that sticks around, I'm going to be pulling out those eggs. They're going to be going into the lockdown boxes and then back in the incubator. And hopefully we're going to have a better hatch rate there. This is something that I've been having an issue with, but I just really haven't noticed it a ton until now. Let me go ahead and set this down and hop back over. There we go. So it's definitely been an issue that I've been concerned with. I've noticed our hatch rate steadily decreasing. They've gone from about 80% down. Now, the only things changes, we don't incubate as much. Haven't been incubating as much as I'd like to or should. So now we're really ramping that up. And with that, all these problems are coming out. And so the things I've changed is when I first started, I didn't have the money really to buy an incubator. It was on a very strict budget, so I built my own incubator. And it worked great. It works great. I love it. I had to fix it a couple times. Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry, thank you. Echo. Sorry, guys. Hopefully I didn't blow your ears out. Yes, thank you. All right, hopefully that's better. Let me see if I missed anything. I know I'm not catching a lot of comments. I apologize. Woo, I missed a ton, so I'm not going to be able to go back. If you guys have something you really want me to see, good now. You might have to post it again. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I've been really having a lot of issues with my incubation. So this is something I'm going to be digging into. We're going to be running these things around the clock, and I'm going to get this down. But some of the changes I was saying I have is I started off with my homemade incubator. I couldn't afford to buy a more expensive one, and they can be pretty expensive. So as I do with everything on the Urban Homestead, I just built it. That allows me to do it over time, to piece it out, buy the stuff as I have money, and then complete the project. Anyways, that worked out well. I started off with about 80, high 70%, and then it's gone down. And since then, I've included those cubonics incubators. I've struggled with power outages and humidity. The humidity's been my biggest issue. And after hearing everyone talk about that, I really think that was our issue this time. Another issue I have is the eggs hatching at the same time, not hatching at the same time, which I know they don't. But like in this situation, I think we would have had more than 8. I let it sit for almost 3 days, 2.5 days, and then I opened it up to get these other birds out. And we could hear some chirping in the eggs, and I'm afraid I may have shrink wrapped one. So some things I need to address. You Mickey's saying she dry hatches. Okay. See, so that seems like what I know Mason was saying that's what he does, and it seems like what a lot of people do. It goes up, yeah. And that was something I had noticed, but didn't really pinpoint until in Aaron's stream he was talking about how people will up that humidity, get it where it needs to be, and then they start hatching and it really ups. And so I've noticed that, and so that's something that actually I'll be addressing too. So my hatching issues and our percents are all on me. I believe. I don't think it's any shipping issues. Besides the fact I tend to always get eggs in winter. Oh, so Spice, my wife, she's asking about the chicks. So I say I don't like them in there more than 2 days, but she's asking what you guys think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I started off with incubation, and this kind of does have to do with my whole thing on Homestead automation, solar, and all that. And that is because the incubators are a automation. Unless you're sitting on the eggs, or like Katrina, who I know has had quail hatch out other quail, or maybe you're doing it with chickens and they're hatching them out. You're automating that process. You're putting them in an incubator, and you're automating that for your homestead. And so that is part of automation. I'm going to roll on with tonight, otherwise I'll get caught up. But I was going to say I actually did side story, but I had tried hatching quail eggs out with a chicken. Unfortunately, I picked a Orpington buff, and it worked. It was successful. I missed the hatch to pick up the kids from school by about an hour, and when I came back, they had hatched out and were consumed. So silky, yes. 48-hour max in the incubator. Yeah, see, babe, I told you I thought 3 days was even too much. So I'm just going to have to work on my incubation process to get more hatch out at the same time. I want to catch everyone's comments. I know I'm going to miss them a lot of them tonight as I roll through chat or roll through what I have. Yeah, okay. Okay, maybe put a little water or feed, like bottle caps in there when I put them in lockdown. So Mason, it sounds like you know a lot about what you're doing with quail. It sounded like from that live stream. I'm gonna have to look into you a little bit more. I know you don't have a channel, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, chickens lead everything. Okay, I got a few things I want to address tonight, so I am gonna keep rolling here. You pushed the 48 hours and lost chicks. That's what I was afraid of. One thing I did do, and I don't know if it helped or it was good or bad, but I left part of the sponge hanging out of the thing, hoping maybe they could get a little moisture off that. But okay, let's see here. I got my notes. Let me get back to this real quick. Oh yeah, a little bit about incubation, some problems I'm having, what I'm going to do to address that. I'm going to stop real quick and actually want to just show something kind of unrelated. It's a little show and tell, but I think it's cool. So I had started off with some avocado plants I got going this year, avocado trees, and they were in my greenhouse. And the plan was to pack that with quail to act as a heater. The New Mexico winters, it just drops so cold at night that those nights when it's hitting 20 and so, the greenhouse is not staying warm enough. So one of my avocados did die. The other one I got inside, but I want to show it. So let's do this. Turn the mic off so I don't get echo this time. And check this out. So this here, let's see, is that going to show right? Yeah, okay. So this is my avocado tree that I'm excited about. It is in here. By the way, down in here I also have Egyptian walking onions that will be transplanted, and some cilantro there. And here's the avocado tree. It is looking good. Hey, Steve, you're here. Awesome. Anywho, that's my little side note. There we go. What do you guys think of that avocado tree? Say nice. Yeah, it gets really cold here. So that avocado tree has come inside. I'm still warming the quail house, trying to do that project with the quail. It ups the temperature about 10 degrees, but when it's 20 outside, I mean, it's still putting it at freezing in the greenhouse. So I have a couple things still growing. The peppermint's still doing well, and lemongrass is dying off now and all that, but still a few things going there. All right, tonight's topic. So tonight I just want to touch on a little bit. I'm not going to go in depth, and I'm not an expert on some of these things, but I know I've been getting a lot of questions on solar systems, in particular on automation and stuff like that. And so I'm going to touch a little bit on that tonight, hopefully answer a few questions if I can. I want to make full videos on it. It's just, it's such a kind of wide topic. It really depends widely on what you're doing with it, and there's no really one size fits all. But I decided to talk about automation a little bit because it's winter. In particular, people get sick, they go on vacation. There's things that would cause a need to automate some things on your homestead. Also, I work a very full-time job. Like I said earlier, there's times that we're all away from the house for 12 plus hours, and things don't get done. So automation. First of all, let's see. Let me play this little opening. There's kind of some examples of some homestead automation video. Woo-wee. So that sun is bright and it provides a whole lot of energy we could use for free. All I gotta do is gather it with these solar panels here or something like that and run it through our system for a little bit of automation. So those solar panels are going to feed into a solar charge controller, which keeps our battery nice and topped off. That battery then runs through some fuses and timers and wonderful things to give us light, as well as fans. This little water pump here. Automation in the solar system runs this little water pump here. This little water pump keeps this automated system going, and this one is just a gravity fed system, so this doesn't use electricity at all, and that will just feed right into those water dishes. It provides power for cameras, so I can check up in on everything. Over down here, not being used at the moment, but is another form of automation, and this is a non-powered automation, and all this is a chicken feeder. And so this has ports, and so that way it can hold more feed, so I'm not having to come out and feed them every day. And so that adds a little bit of automated feed time, if you will. All right, man, I'm done. Do your thing. So I'm pouring it dry, and I'm just going to add the water. Now the concrete's going to soak up all the water, and so it's these timers here that actually truly provide the automation part of it. They allow things to be done at certain times without me needing to be right there. And so, quick overview, basically how it works. Solar is going to come in through a cord there. The solar then feeds into our solar charge controller. This feeds the battery and keeps it topped off without overloading it, and all the battery sits up there. I do have a cutoff here that will take all power from the battery, so if there's any type of problem, I can cut all that off. Anywho, the battery then is going to provide power that's being charged up from the solar charge controller will provide power to the fuses. Fuses provide power to the timers, and the timers provide power to things like the actuator to open the windows and the lights that come on, and then water and all those other good things. And then while it's not hooked up right now because it's winter, and so things aren't really getting watered anyways, but I do want to mention a good thing, overlooked part of automation that's really come in handy for me is timers, watering system, drip system, all that type of stuff, so parts of the garden don't die if I don't take care of it every day. This chicken door here too is new, and that's automated as well. It's got a timer. Some of them come on and off with the sun going up and down and all that. This one I'll have on a timer, and it will be plugged into a solar panel as well. So part of the automation system, I don't have to come out and open and close the coop door every day. It's incubator, here's automation. Can you tell me how? Okay, cool. Yeah, there's just a few things. And so basically I was trying to show that there's automation all over your homestead, all over, whatever you're doing, whether you know it or not. And so tonight I'm going to dip a little bit into different types of automation, why do it, why not, and then touch on solar a little bit as well there on the end. And so people can throw in some questions. I do want to mention a few things, though, just some comments I saw, so I'll pull that up right away. We'll dip into solar a little bit, but Steve had made a comment that his son-in-law needed a battery. He took his, but never disconnected the solar panels. Zip went the inverter. One of the most important things you can learn and do when you are working with solar systems of any kind, it's really just a battery system that's fed by the sun. So there's power coming in, right? Just like as if you plug your battery charger into the wall, and then you're getting it from the city system. But if you take the battery or the storage means offline before you take out the power coming in, you'll fry out charge controllers, inverters, all of that. Now, one thing you'll notice on those two systems there, I don't have an inverter. Those are all 12-volt systems. And I have a video I'm trying to put out as to why I use all 12-volt in the backyard. But depending on what you're going to need, that's going to depend on some of your voltage. So we'll get into solar a little bit more in just a moment. First of all, a little bit on the automation. Let's see here. Let me pull up my definitions here. So first I had one other comment that I wanted to say real quick, and that was, where was it? Katrina here, Sow and Tear. Have I looked into solar panel tracking systems? I actually have, and there's some really cool, really cheap, easy to do builds. And so that's a build as soon as I have time I want to do. I have all the products, and it uses little solar panels that when they catch the sun, they turn on and they move a motor that moves the platform one way or the other to track the sun. And the way it tracks is when the sun's shining on it, it moves it. And then as soon as that little panel, how you set them up in the right places, hits shade from the panel because the sun's hitting the panel, they're not getting shade, so they stop. And so anyways, really easy. I'll do a video on that sometime, but let me do this real quick. So first of all, what is automation? So I got a couple definitions here. First, I have Webster's dictionary definition. And so automation, the technique of making an apparatus, let me pause this, or system to operate automatically. The state of being operated automatically controlled operation of an apparatus, process, or system by mechanical or electrical device that can take place instead of human labor. And that mechanical is also like gravity, things like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be electrical. Then I turn to my next definition here, and this is going to be from our let's see. Yeah, this is going to be from the Yeehaw Dictionary. Yeehaw Dictionary definition there. Systems built and set in place to do the things when the things need to be done with little or no instant help needed from me to get the things taken care of for a little while. Say that one more time. Systems built and set in place to do the things when the things need to be done with little or no instant help needed from me to get the things taken care of for a little while. So basically, automating is helping you out. It's creating a little helper or a second you, if you will. This comes in really handy, especially on the urban homestead if you're working a job away from the homestead and things like that. And so we're going to dive a little bit into here why you would automate, a couple reasons why you wouldn't want to automate. And I know I'm missing a ton of comments. Hey there, Bob. I see you popped in. Oh, hey, Verna, you had mentioned congrats on monetizing. I am a long ways away from being monetized, so I'm not. I'm assuming what you saw was probably the super chat. So that is there. And I wanted to say that. But so Bob just built a huge solar system. He has worked in it, so he can tell you a little bit more and probably correct things I'll say. I'm going to give you where I'm coming from and going with solar, kind of what I know, and trying to answer some questions I can. But Bob's saying he loves his solar. His bill went from the grid was $20 last month. That is awesome. Yeah, Bob is a little ahead on me on his solar stuff. So we'll hop into solar in just a minute. Let me finish up on automation here. So let's go ahead and let me pull up this. Let's see. All right, here we go. Why automate things? Automating can save you time. So it can give you time to do other things. It can just save you time in general. So that's definitely a good reason to set up automated systems. It can save you money. So setting up automated systems, solar systems, things like that, it can save you money in that if you're setting them up right, it can save maybe money in feed that's not just being scattered, but being introduced at certain times throughout the day and different things like that. See, so it can open up different possibilities. So by automating systems, kind of like with saving time and things like that, is it can open up possibilities for me to have more things more projects. So chickens, quail, other projects going on while I'm still working a full-time job. So whereas things may take up all my time in feeding, watering, turning lights on and off, or opening and closing doors, if I can automate parts of those, it gives me other possibilities to do other things. Can help you weather storms. So by this, what I mean is a couple good reasons why not to automate we'll get into in a minute, but one of them kind of is having that direct control. However, a good reason why to automate is we all have storms or things that come up. Maybe you're sick. You don't want to get out and feed the birds and animals. Someone else is sick and that's taking you away from the house. Basically storms or emergencies, things that happen. By setting up automated systems, it allows a little bit of a buffer there in between you and stuff. So with that little bit of buffer, it can help you keep things alive. So I know there's been times when I've definitely needed that buffer. And so having things automated a little bit more may not provide everything that my homestead needs, but it provides a little bit to get me through. So the birds are going to have water, they'll have food, things like that. And it can reduce stress, definitely. By having things automated and not having to worry about certain areas, that can reduce some of that stress and cut down and allow me to do other things like builds and projects and work on different solar systems and things like that. So with that said, there's lots of reasons why to automate. These were just a couple I put. Here's a few reasons why you may not want to automate things. And so number one, I have automatically can lend to forgetting things. So by automating, it can give you that sense of security. It gives you that almost security bias in that you might forget to do things you need to do because you figure, well, everything's just going to do it itself, right? Number two was cost. Automating things can have additional cost at times. Usually not a whole lot, depending on how you're doing it, but there can be cost. So with that is time to develop. So with cost also comes the time to develop your systems. Automating it can be super simple, making a gravity water feeder or cutting holes in a container to make a feeder that's going to last for a few days for your birds, or it can be really complex and building out like a whole solar system. Steve says it can lead to laziness. Most certainly it can. So with that, we say it can lead to loss of attention to detail. It can lead to laziness. And so this can lead you to assuming things are okay. And so a good example of this is automating the drip systems, the watering systems in the garden. Sometimes when I know the garden's getting watered and it's getting what it needs for that day, I may not go out and go through the garden, and then I may not find those bugs or issues to plants or things that are occurring because I got lazy with it and I didn't go out and I didn't check those things. I assumed, well, it's alive, it's getting its water and stuff. I'm going to go over here and build something. So definitely. I think I put one more here. Yeah, and so with that basically is your reliance on. So with the more things I automate, the more I kind of rely on that system. And so when systems do fail, you have problems. And so that happens all the time. And so with getting into solar in a minute here in particular, there's things that happen. Your batteries can drain and not be recharging fast enough. Maybe it's cloudy days. So you got to think about weather in there. When you're building a solar system, you're building a battery system, an electric system. The solar component of it is just a few pieces really that is how you're getting that power. Excuse me. So there's a lot of things that you can rely on that may not work. With electrical systems, there's always times fuse could pop or things just don't work properly. There were times when, so I had actuators on my old chicken doors that would open and close the doors. And I had this problem with it. It was a couple winters ago when we had an extended cloudy period and the batteries weren't charging fast enough. When I looked out, I could see that they was still operating. So I assumed it was going fine, but it was using slightly more than it was taking in every day. And so that brought it to where it kicked off the batteries. It shut down the system. And one day that door didn't open. And so I got home from work very late in the evening, and the chickens had been in the coop all day long and weren't able to get out and get their water and feed and do all that. And so reliance on the system led to my laziness, I guess, and not checking and things like that. Since then, I've done stuff to combat that. There are cameras out in the system, so I can check when I'm away, and that's part of an automated system in itself. And so I can check and make sure things are going okay. Like with the Gobi thermometers, they'll connect to my phone and I can set parameters. And so that creates a little automated system that lets me know when their heat is too high or too low. And hopefully we can get something done with it there. Okay, so that is automation. Oh, a little bit more. That's basically why I automate as much as possible. Primarily is because I work away from home. I'm gone for a long time. It allows other possibilities. And for these reasons I talked about is why I do it. What things can you automate? Food, water, lighting. Lighting's important. It's something a lot of people overlook, but if you are having your birds lay year round, like I do, you want to keep them on a certain light schedule. And so that's going to create some sort of an automated process, probably electrical, most definitely, because you're not getting as much light in the winter as you would need. So you're going to have some electrical systems. So you got feed, water, light. You can automate doors. What other systems are automated? Watering systems for the garden. retractable things, fans, vents. There's so many different systems. And when we really start thinking about it, there's a lot you can do there. Automated water timers can fry at super high temperatures. 115 is when all yours died and failed to recognize that right away. Yep. So that reliance on the system. Yeah, I've heard a lot of problems with the water timers from other people. I've never had them. Mine sit in, they never get sun directly on them. They're full shade where they are. And in New Mexico, at least in the shade, the temperature difference is pretty high. I mean, it can be 115 outside and 85 in the shade. Anyhow, that's definitely something to think about. And so you'd want to keep a close eye on it there. So some different ways to automate. You can do automation through gravity feeders, through just bigger feeders. Yeah. That's the only time you had issues, even if it's full shade at those temps. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So then you could address that too. So there's different ways that you can automate. Maybe then electricals, maybe not the way to go. You could go with, there's other automated systems I have in my yard for watering in particular. We can go with this example, and that would be using garden oyas. And so those are terracotta pots, big pots that are buried underground. And I have one of them in my yard right now, and I want to do more. But you fill those up with water, and those leach out throughout the day, and they'll cover a 3 or 4 foot area underground and keep your plants nice and watered all throughout the day. So that's an automated system that doesn't require electricity. And I approach everything from a prepper standpoint, or I was a scout, I don't know. So 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So I like redundancies. So maybe I have my drip system. I also have the garden oya, and then maybe some other things like that. And so you can have gravity fed systems, you can have electric systems. Just there's a lot of different ways that you can automate. So that was a good point there. We got about 13 people in here, so we are getting 43 minutes, staying right on time. So now I'm going to talk about solar a little bit. I know a lot of people have asked a lot about it. It's something that I have started really small on and moved up, and kind of the way I do everything is just, hands-on learning, starting small. My experience with solar so far has all been 12 volt, and then of course kicking that up with inverters to 120. So I have a little bit of experience. Where I say solar systems are extremely tailored to what you need. So think of it as a battery system first. There's a lot of different confusing terms and stuff you'd want to get down first. And I can do a stream just for solar if people really want, or a video maybe on what I know about it or how I can help with it. Because it's just so wide, there's so much there. And so I guess it's really, what are you using it for first? I like personally a lot of small little individual solar systems. And that's because what I'm using them for right now is outlying areas around the house. The chicken coop, the quail shack, the greenhouse, soon the silky coop, things like that. So those operate for me all on 12 volt systems. That DC current seems to be the best and easiest way for me to go there. So I can definitely show people how to set up that and get it going. You got to know about your amps, your watts, your voltage, your wire gauge. All those things are important. So I can definitely go over those. Now I know, like Carolina Kind in here, or some people are asking me about much bigger systems to power the whole house or the whole unit. That I have not done yet. I know the principles for it because they're pretty much the same as the smaller systems. I just haven't done that yet. So I can give what I know about it, but when you're talking about kicking up to 48 volts or your 120 or whatever volt system, I can tell you why people do that and the benefits of it and stuff, but I have not done that personally yet. Understanding the terms would be good. I was going to put together a little video. I just ran out of time, cartoon video, talking about what you're looking for. So there's a couple things I'll use. So right now I'm fully automating my silky house, the little coop. The automations including a door, It has an inside white light, inside red lights, outside lights. It has actuators that open and close the vents. It has ventilation fans and then a fan inside. So that's going to be the automation on the coop itself. The silky area is going to be 3 parts. It's the coop, the solar tree, which you saw me building there. That's going to have the solar panels on it, and then the little module. And so that can be moved around, and that's what's going to track the sun. Actually, there's a reason I built it in the bucket and all, and that's another project, but that's to track the sun. So the solar tree, and then I'm going to have my feed station. The feed station is going to be enclosed and dispense feed and water, and that will all be automated as well. Yeah, good point. Okay, so the smaller limited systems can help understanding for larger systems before you pay larger prices. So one of the main factors people don't go into solar systems is it can be very expensive. The batteries are the biggest expense, I think, in the system. So anyway, you're doing that. Regardless of how you're powering these different things, if you're just plugging it to the wall, you're using a system, you're just using the city's system. Now you can do solar, you can do wind, you can do gravity batteries, which is like where they pull a big weight up to the top of a tower using something like solar in the day. And then when you need power at night, those are lowered down, and that creates power for night. You can do solar in the day and the temperature difference and do a thermal and collect power from that. Collect power thermally from stored like sand batteries or water batteries. There's a lot of different ways you can get power. Solar, for me, makes a ton of sense, especially being in New Mexico. We have a ton of sun all the time, clear skies. It makes a ton of sense, so that's what I'm doing. It's really easy. And so basically, you have a light. And, oh, Matt, I'm exhausted. Have to take Lucy for a walk and hit the sack. Verna, thank you so much for showing up. You have a great evening. I'm going to talk solar for a few minutes, and then I'm going to add into the stream, putting eggs into lockdown for anyone that's still here. So let me talk just touch on solar a little bit, and then I'm going to have to I will do a special stream for anyone that just wants to dig into solar. I'll set a date. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I know a lot of people want solar in particular, and I'm going to put up a poll on my community page tonight asking certain times or days when I can do just a solar stream, and then I'm going to develop that. And so it'll probably be just shortly after Christmas here, right around the New Year, maybe a week or two from now. I'd like to do it within 2 weeks, and I'll do a stream just on solar where people can really pick my brain and all that. So we'll set that up. But basically, what you're going to have a light, and that light is, or we're using that for an example, that light is going to be a certain voltage. So my lights, I'm using a 12 volt. That light is also going to take a certain amount of amp hours. And so that's how much power it's going to be drawing from the battery. So the amps are like how much is stored in there, right? The volt is how much it is letting through. And so 12 volts, and then let's say the light takes 2 amps an hour. If I have a 100 amp hour battery, a 12 volt 100 amp hour battery, that can provide 100 amps for an hour. So my 2 amp light could go for 50 hours on that battery before it's drained to zero. Now, yes, there's a lot of things there. If you're using like flooded cell batteries, you don't want to go below 50%. Lithium ion, you can. I'm just touching very, very on the surface here. So that's the basics of that. Now, solar, you're going to take that, and that's going to feed into your system, and that's going to be using watts. So 100 watts, you're going to want a solar charge controller that can take that power in. Like Steve said earlier, you want to make sure you have a battery connected before you're bringing in power. And so that solar charge controller, what that does is it takes the power, it regulates it, and it feeds it into the battery. And that's going to charge up your battery. When the battery's full, it stops charging it, and it regulates. So then I can take power from the battery. Now I got my power. It's charging up and all. And I can take that and I can feed that into a little fuse panel. And from that panel, I can run timers and I can run my light and all that. Now that light is now going through a timer and a fuse panel and wiring, and it's going to lose a little bit. So that same 2 amp hour that could run theoretically for 50 hours is going to lose a little bit. So maybe I'm going to get 40 hours out of it, right? And let's say I'm using that flooded battery, so I don't want to go below 50%. So maybe 20 hours I can run that little bulb. And that's just for that one little bulb. A lot of things to think about, and I'm just barely briefly touching on it. Oh, people are saying goodnight to Myrna. And so that's how that would work. When I think about solar and people ask me questions, I don't really even know where to start, to be honest. So here, let's do this. I talked a little bit about automating and why you'd want to automate on your homestead. I'm approaching my hour here, but and so the way I do most of that is either through gravity fed systems, bulk systems, or solar systems. I have individual little ones, and then I want to do a big one. My goal is to take this room here and pull it off of city power. Basically just run solar in here and keep these freezers and things going on solar. And so that's stepping it up a little bit. I have my inverter, my 3000 watt inverter. I have my lithium batteries and solar panels. I have the equipment. I just haven't set that up yet. And so I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put, it might be, for tonight, I'm going to kind of wrap things up, and then I'm going to jump into putting these eggs into lockdown. I'm going to get a poll up tonight, and we will set aside a time where I do a special stream just talking solar. In that stream, I'm going to do a little DIY where I set up a small, very simple 12-volt system that's going to power a light. I'm going to talk a little bit more about terms in that one and what you're looking for, how to basically start developing your list of what you need so you can do the math for your own system. I'm also going to pull out my bigger components for my bigger system, talk about those and show those and do a little DIY in that stream. So I'm going to set that up. I'd like to say within 2 weeks, because I might need to purchase a few little parts. It might be about 3 weeks. So bear with me. If anyone has any questions you would like to pop off about solar or anything, any questions about anything, I guess right now, feel free to throw that in chat. I'll try to answer it. But besides that, we'll do that in that solar system stream, just because there is so much there. Sorry, I didn't. People ask me all the time, and I really want to answer questions, but there's just so much to it. So we'll have to do it that way. I hope that's all right with everyone. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up camera back over here, and I'm going to be pulling out the eggs that are in the dry hatch from Gidros, and we're going to put those in lockdown. So I'm going to put them in my special lockdown box. And then because we've been doing a dry hatch, I haven't been adding humidity. So I'm going to get that going. We're going to add all the humidity in and do that, and we'll finish up the stream that way. So let me go ahead and set up camera. One moment here. Okay. All right, I'm going to pop over there. I'm not going to be able to see chat too much, so I will pop back over once I get the eggs going and take a look at chat. So if, was there any questions anyone had? Let me check real quick. I heard there are special math for the power of solar panels connecting them versus what they are going in or versus what wire is being spliced. So it looks to me like you're talking about how to wire the panels together to bring power in. So there's several ways you can do that. You can wire them same way as the batteries, so either series or parallel. So you can wire them together so that you keep them that 12 volt. Like if I had two 12 volt 100 watt panels, I could wire them so it's two 12 volt and now it's 200 watts, or I can wire them together so it's 100 watts at 48 or at 24 volts. Anyways, you can wire them different. I don't know if that's what you were asking. Okay, so that's kind of what you're asking. Yeah, there's some special math there. So when it comes to the solar panels in particular, and I'll answer this real quick and then we'll hop over, I'll touch on it. When it comes to the solar panels, you're going to be looking at the volts and the watts. And then, so you want to make sure the charge controller you have can take in and the amps. And so you know, make sure the charge controller you have can take in that much. Depending on how you're setting your system up and how many volts you're going to be doing, are you doing a 12 volt system, 24 volt, 48 volt system, and how much you're feeding into it is going to change. So I think that's kind of what you're talking about a little bit. And that's going to be just whether you wire them in series or parallel. And I'll set up and I'll address all of that then as well. I don't think I answered your question, but yeah, there is some math there. When I do that stream, I'll make sure I set it all up so that it lends to you being able to go and take what I gave you and gather your own info and then put that together. And I'm sorry that's a little bit of time out, but I'll get that done. That's something I really like doing personally myself. It's a big hobby of mine and something I could talk on forever. So we'll do that. Okay, we're gonna hop over here. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do it. And the reason is I'm not going to talk a whole lot as I do it. I want to get these eggs out in the lockdown and back in the incubator as quick as possible, and then bring that up to humidity. So, missed the alert. Oh no, Mr. Landfill. I missed so many alerts. I had to search down Verna's this morning. Go back and watch in replay if you want. But other than that, sorry you didn't get that alert. I will get better about putting my thumbnails up. I've said it for years now, but I will someday. So I'm going to turn this one. I'm actually going to leave this up because I'm using its microphone. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Oh, do I have a question? Big spring quail. Do you use self-liner in the hatching basket? You're going to see all the behind the scenes. Just a sec. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, so this is something I had a problem in my last hatch was I had a lot of birds that had splayed leg, right? Yeah. And I just had them in here. I had actually made cardboard inserts, and that was a bad idea. That did not work out well. So I got myself the shelf liner, and I put it in here. This time I didn't have any that had that problem. So that problem was solved. So that is very cool. In these ones, I have a little bit of the shelf liner. I accidentally cut a piece of this shelf liner that went in here to put in that other one. So I'm just going to use these blue towels. I hope that's okay for the win. Yeah. So I'm hoping this will work in this one. We'll see. And then I got my sponges for humidity. So I'm going to get myself set up here so I can move quick. Ooh. Ah, my booty's going to knock over this brooder. I'm going to have to scoot some things over here a little bit. So let's pull this back. Come down here and pull this back. Oh, no, don't fall over. Sorry. There we go. So they sell these trees for like $35. I built this out of spare wood I had laying around for free. Okay, get these out of the way a little bit. So I can get in here. Sorry, you can see my messy room. This here is the lockdown box. So I built this lockdown box to go in this incubator. This incubator holds 120 egg turner there. It's one shelf. And then this box has two sides. So I can do multiple hatches like this if I have different ones. In this case, there's 4 different eggs, but I'm going to do 3 compartments. And so they just can go in here and hatch out like that. And that works out nicely. So let's see. There we go. And hopefully everyone can see. I'll try not to have my back to it too much. Let's see. I'll put this over here. There we go. And we'll get these eggs going into lockdown. I need to move quick and try not to get caught talking. And so what I'm going to try and do is take this egg turner and I'm going to move it out and set it beside the box and start moving eggs right away. As soon as I get the eggs in the box and it closed up, I'm going to then try and move the camera so you can see this box, and I'll put water in the humidity areas. So you can see that the light is clicked on now. So what I'm going to do is take these water bottles that are in here already because they're at the right temperature. They're thermal regulating in there. So I'll take 1 or 2 of those, fill up the tray, and then it will get the sponges to bring up the humidity. So you can see there I got celadon eggs. They'll go in the one by themselves. And then these are marked, and I'm not 100% sure which ones he sent, but those are what are going to go in. Oh, joining tomorrow. Katrina, we're going to try and join tomorrow. I work a little early and may have to go in earlier. I'm not sure what tomorrow holds. Tomorrow may have to catch you in replay, which sucks because we had so much fun on yours. But we might be there. We're going to try to make that happen by all means necessary because marshmallows sound cool. If anyone out there is unaware, we are a Katrina kit. So we are on Katrina's page. We're members there. And she does cooking things, and she's making marshmallows tomorrow. All right, I got tape around my seam here, so I'm taking that off. She says, yeah. We're hoping to be there, but I'm not sure exactly what tomorrow's going to hold. That's why I'm not planning the live stream. It'll be spontaneous. Ooh, got tape all over my gloves. The way my job works and all is I don't really have a very steady, things can change quickly. Oh, yeah, of course. I think everyone should go over and become a Katrina kid. It's not expensive at all, and you really get the value out of it. I love those cooking things. We had so much fun on that last one. So definitely, if you guys go over and check out Sew and Tear, and check out her membership, it's worth it. It really is. Okay, I'm going to open this and move quick. Looks like we got Egyptian Fee, and what are the other ones? Browns, maybe? Uh-oh, we're stuck on something. What am I stuck on? Cord is stuck. There we go. All right, this can come out. Something like that. And I can try and get past the door. Ah! All right, there we go. Don't drop them. Get caught on everything. There we go. Okay, success. Got the eggs out. Now I'm going to open up red side. And in the small side are going to go celadons. So we'll get some new celadons, hopefully. Blood in there for my son's celadons. And I want to move them quick. I don't want them out too long. And then the Egyptian Fee, I believe, EF you put on them. Let's try. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Only flat. There we go. Oh no, these are not the Egyptian Fee. I think these are brown, jumbo brown. I'm not sure which ones. So I won some eggs, and I'm not sure exactly what we got. But I did get this from Gidros, which I found out Kelly over at Feather Connections made, and I just think that's cool. Stop getting sidetracked. Woo, it's hot in this room. And then I'm going to try and bring the humidity up to about 60% is my goal. I can control that on this incubator with some holes in the side of it. There we go. Move, and then we're going to do this. And now we got to do this. Da-da-da. Okay, so I got my trays here for the water. And we're going to take one of these bottles. It's already at that right temperature, so I don't want to put cold water in here. And that's going to fill up that tray. And I don't know if you can see in the back of that the incubator here is my air intake. So that will pull this moisture up. There we go. So we'll take those out, and those will go elsewhere. I'll take my sponges that I've pre-soaked, and those go here to create some more surface area. That's what will allow that temperature, the humidity in here to get up high enough. Hopefully those will stand. If not, that's all right. We'll put them in like that. That way they stand. Okay, cool. Now we'll move on our lockdown box. And not drop anything. Ooh, the eggs rolled a little bit. Hopefully nothing cracked or anything. But they did roll. All right, trying to be gentle as possible. Okay, there we go. There we go. We'll put our little thermometer there on top. And we got our goby down here on the bottom. And we'll shut that, lock that up. And then this has a towel and blanket over the front of it normally. So now I can hop in here and I'll show you. So we got that all set. And then I can look down here and see my goby, 22%. So hopefully that comes up. And I'm just going to keep an eye on this for a while now and watch it and make sure everything's doing okay. The eggs rolled a little bit. Hopefully nothing cracked or anything, but anyhow, that will be observed. Oh, let me get around here, not knock things over. 97, awesome. 98, very good. Yes. Now we're 9 minutes, so I only went 10 minutes over tonight. Let's see. Katrina the pumpkin pie was demolished by the kids, and that soup. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got to say something here. In Katrina's kits, we made a pumpkin soup that has made my list of probably my top 10 favorites, if not top 5 foods. I ate that. I took it to lunch. I want to make more right now. That pumpkin soup was amazing. So anyone, we made a pumpkin pie and a pumpkin soup in one of Katrina's kits cooking, and it was to die for. Absolutely to die for. Yeah, we did. That was good stuff. Let's see. Yep. Never mind my cut the shop towel. It can go in from the top. I'm not sure what you meant there. It was good. It was delicious. So I'm hoping we'll be there tomorrow. If not, we'll catch and replay. But tomorrow's going to be kind of up in the air. We just got a lot going on right now. But that's really what I had tonight. I wanted to touch on a little automation a little bit and hopefully help people out. Touch on solar a little bit. I will set that stream up and then just show my quail and things that are going on. So I'm going to give a couple minutes here. If anyone has questions or anything else you'd like to add or for me to address, we can do that, and then we'll hop off. Like I said, I'm not going to be live tomorrow unless it's a little spontaneous thing if I get the time. I do plan on being live again next week and doing a cool one then. Hey, Palmato Paratrooper, good to see you. Shalom. You're catching the very end. We're going to hop off here, but great show. Yeah, so this week, I'm hoping to make a whole lot more progress on the Silky Coop. I'm still trying to get that finished by the end of December, the end of the month. So that's got to be done. I think that's the only really big project I have that needs to be finished. More in-depth solar learning. I do have to mention, I am not an expert, but I absolutely love doing it. I built the small systems, and so I think I got some basics down enough, at least, that I can give a little, we can have a little talk on it and hopefully get some stuff in. Oh, I thought I had seen you here. I may have seen you in someone else's then. That's cool. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I think I've seen your name somewhere, probably in someone else's. Was it maybe Pinball or Fugal or somewhere? You have functional systems. That makes me a bigger expert. They work well. This new one in the Silky Coop, I'm really cool because I think it's cool. I'm building the Silky Coop more like a house. In all the walls I'm making wiring harnesses for the cords, all correct gauged wire and all that with correct gauge connectors, so everything can go in and out easy. My idea behind that is I'm almost done with its solar system, and then I want to show it in its completion and what it does. So we can include that on that solar stream as well. Torah prefer. Oh, I saw you in the name just escaped me. In Jerry's Sanctified. Maybe I saw you in Sanctified, or may I seen you in Paul's? Paul Neeson? Anyways, oh, yeah, it is. Sanctified Supply. So that's probably where I saw you. Jerry, right? Over in Jerry's stream. I haven't seen him over there in a little bit. You know, I just realized it stopped. I haven't seen a notification for his in a while. I need to get over and see what's happening over there. Hey, that's cool. Well, welcome. I like him a lot. I don't know him personally, more in his stream and a few little chats I've had with him. And he's been over here a few times, but him and his wife, his family are some neat people. And that's my cup too. Look at that. Only seen shorts. He does lives. He was doing the Snowball Bible reading for a while, which I thought was really cool. I'm not sure what's going on with him, actually. Life gets going and so fast, and I got so much going on, which is no excuse, but I lose track a little bit of people. So I need to get over and see. You have the camo version of the hat. We have this one. I have one other one, too. And then I have a bunch of his shirts. I really like them. And I know he has a shirt subscription I've been eyeing. But, yeah. So that's pretty neat. So I'm in so many different communities. I know my channel, at least, I draw people in from the quail and the homesteading community because that's what we're trying to do. I tend to draw people in from the prepper community, from Pinball and Marfugal and all them, because I start off as a prepper. I know Zach over at American Homestead says if you follow prepping to its logical conclusion, you'll end up on a homestead. And I think that's funny. So I actually found Zach and then American Homestead. And I think through him, I found Papa Pepper. And then through Papa Pepper, I found Jerry at Sanctified. And then kind of there. So I draw some of that crowd too, I guess. The Torah crowd. So I get a little hodgepodge of different groups here on my channel. And I think that's really awesome. Yeah. Yep, that's right there. You hit it on the head. Bible homesteading, prepping, bushcraft. Yeah, yep. That's probably why I've seen you. Do you have a channel? I don't know if you have a channel, Palmetto. If anyone has a channel, you could type in GBH, as in Grafted Branch Homestead, in the chat, like that, and it should drop your channel link. So I was going to do, I guess I'll say this now. I was considering next week, Saturday, doing my stream on lights, being that the Festival of Lights is coming up here. And so I was going to do one on lights and just kind of talk about lights in general and all that. I don't know if you can see here, be a light in a dark world. And so kind of a theme. Oh, I can't say, I was going to say something. I almost spoiled a bunch of gifts here. Yeah, see, there we go. Katrina's showing there, Grafted Branch Homestead. And so that dropped her channel link. So you guys can go check her out there. You do, you just don't post too much lately. That's okay. I'll go over and I'll subscribe and check you out. I struggle with posting. I haven't put out a true video in a while where I've edited and done. So I think this time of year I like to think about, you know, a lot of things, where I'm going in a lot of areas. And when I think where I want to take the channel, where I want to go is we started off, Verna was saying, you know, congrats on being monetized. I'm not monetized yet. And so I was gunning for that kind of and trying to get that going. And that's not my direction. I started gunning for that, and that's not how I started the channel. Can you guys even hear me? My microphone's way over here. Is that better? Sorry, I don't know if anyone even heard all that. Anyways, I started off the channel not gunning for that. I just wanted, the reason I started the channel was I wasn't finding on YouTube what I was looking for. I'd find people with either a lot more experience than I had, or further along, or just not interested in the things I was. And so I decided I was going to start a channel and try and talk about the way I approach things, or how I'm learning things, and maybe help some other people. And through that, I've developed a lot of community. At some point in there, I decided I was going to start our family business, which we still have and we're still doing, and that's good. And I really wanted to get that going, get monetized. And I was trying to really push that so I could get away from my worldly job and do these things here, and, you know, not have to work Saturdays and do that type of stuff. I've decided, though, with gunning for that, I kind of lost a lot in the channel. And so I'm not going to gun for that. If it happens, it happens. Where I'm taking the channel is I want to do more videos. I really want to do more educational videos, DIY type ones, or learning. And then at some point along the stream, I started doing lives along the channel too. Lives are easier. They're a good way to communicate with people and have instant communication. You don't have to edit and stuff, so they're easy to do. But I'm not getting across quite what I want. So this next year, I want to focus more on my videos, still do the lives and catch up and have some fun. But I really want to focus on getting those videos out this year. 5x5. Thanks, Steve. Cool. Yeah, I have that problem. So I love building things and doing all these projects, and I so much so I just do them and I go and getting the camera out and filming, and I'm not a technical person, and I really have to force myself to do that. I miss so much of that. But once again, I want to share that type of stuff because I know there's other people out there like me that are interested and curious, or like some of you guys here are curious about solar and all that. And so I want to put out more videos explaining that stuff. In the videos, I can edit and I can come up with scripts and formulate more. And so I think I can get my ideas across better and get information conveyed better than in live streams. I am very ADD. I'm very, very sporadic and all over the place. And I'm constantly trying to tether myself and focus. So that comes out in lives. You'll see rabbit trails and stuff a lot. My life in general is just very much so that way. Hey, thanks. Question. If ordering on your website, say coffee cup. I'm so sorry, Steve. Oh, man. We didn't send that. It's coming, Steve. Does it go to you? Then you forward it to another website. So right now, if you're earning through, if you buy through our third party, through the through our website, and you order things through there, it doesn't come to us first. It just goes right to you. The stuff you order from our website, like our teas and candles and things, those are ours. So those go to you from there. Steve, what day is it? It's the 14th. I'll get you that. It will go out this week. I would like to say you'll have it by the end of the week, but I know shipping right now is crazy with the holidays. So it will be shipped by the end of the week. It'll be shipped out by Thursday. And yours is going to be coming through third party, so it's not coming from us. I just haven't shipped it out through there. I'm so sorry, Steve. And you never get before pictures either. My problem, and I hate how other creators that do this, I'm going to give my dirty secret, is doing part ones and not doing part twos. So some of my biggest videos are like the greenhouse build, where I did part one, turning your trampoline into a greenhouse. And then I got carried away with building it and didn't really film it. And so there's no part 2 or 3. And I keep getting comments of people looking for that. And I don't really know what to tell them. So, yeah. Until you're halfway. Yeah. I do that. I actually film a lot and get a lot done. And I edit, and I don't get them finished being edited. And then it's like a build that took place, 6 months, a year ago. So I don't release the video because now it's winter. And it was a summer one, and I don't know. I should probably just release them anyways, but yeah, that's what I need to be doing. Just do the voiceover. That would work out well. Okay, good, Steve. We're going to get you one coming. Me and Casey, we talked about it, and we talked about design. And it's a little special for you, so. We will get it coming. Wait for your tea order. Did you put in a tea order? I hope I didn't miss that. Don't send it until you get your order. So that's the only stuff that comes third party right now is my shirts and cups and things. I have equipment to do that. And so we're going to be putting out our own merchandise. Experimented with that some, but I want to be doing that, get a lot that I could put out. There's some logistics issues and some things there I'm working on, and time issues. Another idea that I thought was really cool, I do want to pursue this next year. I can't give a timeline or anything on that, but I kind of thought it was a cool idea if I make like cups or shirts or things like that. Like I can make a bunch of coffee cups for other creators on here that want to do that but don't want to do third party or spend a whole lot. I could produce a bunch of like cups for another creator here and send those to them for them to sell, cheap. Someone ordered some hot sauce from me, and some reason you didn't get the push notification. Yeah, I've had that happen once. 2 weeks later, you noticed it. Yeah, I've had that happen, and I am so scatterbrained and disorganized. I'm constantly trying to work on that. And I had that happen once with an order. Yeah. That's a constant fear of mine. That's a good idea there. I could do that. Maybe that's just what I need to do. Yeah. Casey records a lot more. You can release something old, just do a little at the front of the video telling timing. Oh, that's a good idea. Just explaining it. People look at those videos for years. That's true. So so I did a video on this incubator build. If you're curious, I did a whole video on how I built this incubator. And that's up. And I have a little PDF file that's for free on my website. And I offer that for people. And I have it on my website set up the way it is because I can kind of keep track of stuff. And I have like 5 or 6 downloads a day. So I know that video gets a ton of views, and it's driving traffic to my site from that, which is cool. And I've considered maybe charging like 10 cents for that PDF. Even if I charge a quarter, I mean, that's like $3 a day I could be getting. So I've considered some things like that. I don't know, but he's our little spy, observer. Yeah. Yeah. It's just my biggest enemy's time. It gets away from me and I don't have enough of it. I told someone once that I don't like sleeping. And he said, "What do you mean you don't like sleeping?" And I said, "Of course it's good. You know, it feels good and you like it, but I like waking up and I want to get out of bed right away. And I don't want to be in bed because there's so much to do in the day. There's projects I can do and make progress on and new things I can learn. And I want to get about the day. That's what I mean by I don't like sleeping. There's not enough time to do all the things. And I'm so excited about so much in life. I know my family will say it probably seems like I'm stressed out a lot because I am, but that comes from excitement and just having so many things I want to do. And there's not enough time for it all. Life is awesome. God is good, right? All right, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and hop off stream now. We're about an hour and a half. That's longer than I wanted to go. I'll put up the poll tonight, and that will be up for a week or so. As far as the timing on when I'm going to set that solar live stream. Besides that, you guys have a good one. We'll see y'all next time. Get out there, do the things, go at life with purpose. Maybe this season, put a little extra thought into why you're doing what you do. And make sure it's done for reason. You're not just going about it, right? Mr. Landfill saying, be safe, everyone. You guys all have a good one. You might see me tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. Oh, and hopefully in yours. Yeah. Have a good night, Mickey, Andy. You guys all have a good one. It's good to see you. We'll see you next week here. Night, y'all. Where's my thing? I have it.
Remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Gooey.
Party pooper.